Podcast. Good, because you know what, that's the thing. You can disagree. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to agree. Because I was sitting back and I was watching my homies. Get down on the C3 podcast tonight, and I got to tell you, you know, it was depressing. You know what I mean? Like, it was 100% depressing. I felt some type. Honestly, you know what? I wasn't even thinking about doing a podcast tonight. But I said, you know what, I'm going to watch my boys, and I'm going to watch them. So I watched them, and I was just like, oh, my God, this I got to do a podcast tonight. I got to, because, you know, somebody got to tell the truth, and somebody got to set the record straight, and somebody got to say, hey, listen, you know, despite what it looked like, the sky is not falling. Okay, it ain't quite to that point yet, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, yes, you guys, if you guys want to chime in with your comments, if you want to disagree with me, you want to agree with me, it's all good. Hit me up at TeamBoydTV on Twitter. I will be showing your tweets live on the air. Also, as you can see right here, to my right, I have my hardest pounders, right? Like, you know, I ain't really been getting a chance to really address my hardest pounders, because I've been doing the Black and Blue podcast like I've been wanting to do it. But I still have some of my hardest pounders on here. Then the hardest pounders are the people who click on either the little button that's on YouTube somewhere. It's like in the top right-hand corner, I believe. It's a little button you click, and then little stuff pops out. And, you know, the people who hit up my fan funding to keep the Black and Blue podcast rolling, to help me take care of some of the services and stuff that I use to put on this show. It also helping me pay for the bandwidth and all that kind of stuff. It helps keep the show going and keep me being able to have the creative freedom to do the things that I want to do with the podcast. Also, the hardest pounders are the people who actually went in, because in that little button, there's also a link for the TeamBoydTV Patreon page. So we have a Patreon page. You can go over there, become a patron, donate a little, donate a lot, whatever you got to do, just to show your appreciation for the podcast. Also, you guys can, if you guys like the podcast, you know, cool, listen to me going on about my favorite football team. You can also give the stream a like and a thumbs up and that kind of thing. And feel free to, the YouTube comments are cool too. I can read those. I can see them here, so we'll be able to see that too. And also, if you guys, again, if you're listening to me versus watching me, I do definitely have a chat box up on Spreaker right now. So the people who are listening to me via Spreaker, you can chat to me, man. I can see the little chat right there too. So with all that being said, let's get into the nitty gritty of this thing. Like this is what got us here this evening. Okay, like I mentioned a little bit earlier, I was just sitting back. For the last couple weeks, I've been sitting back in the cut and I've been watching because the last time I was on the Black and Blue podcast, I made crazy proclamations and I was talking about Super Bowl 50 and this, that, and the third. And I want everybody who's listening or watching me right now to understand this. Big Q's stance ain't changed on none of that, despite the situation that happened with my boy Kelvin Benjamin and, the things that are going on with Frank Alexander and, despite Cam Newton's quarterback play and some of the wide receiver play that we've been watching in the preseason games over the last couple weeks. Understand that my stance has not changed. Like there's a lot of things that you ain't gonna find in the stat sheets. There's a lot of things you ain't gonna find in the reports that come out after the games. They think, oh, okay, Cat Cross, I can't hear your audio. Maybe me, but another vid. What? Oh, is my audio not working? Hold on, let me take a look at that real quick. Because my audio seemed to be working fine right here. I don't know what that could be. I don't know what I hope you guys can hear me. Because I don't feel like starting over. You know what I'm saying? So it's another person watching too, but I don't know. Can you hear me? There's another person watching the stream. If you can hear me, say what up. You know what I mean? Because, I want you guys to hear what I'm saying. You know what I mean? I really want you guys to hear what I'm saying. And that kind of thing. What was I at in my thought? Oh, yes. Okay. So like I was saying before, my stance on, the whole, repeating for the third time as division champs, that has not changed. The whole, going to the Super Bowl. Because I never said that the Carolina Panthers would win the Super Bowl. I never said that. If you go back and listen to a lot of the podcasts that I did leading up to this point right here, I never said that. What I did say, though, is that the Carolina Panthers will make a Super Bowl appearance in Super Bowl 50, and I still feel like that. And and the question of the day. Thank you, the host, my boy T Money. T Money right there. He just retweeted the stream. That's great. But the question everybody keep on asking me is this. The question is, how do you still feel like that despite everything that happened? Now, let's go back a little bit. All right, let's go back a little bit and let's see exactly what done went down and what done transpired over, what done went down over the last, few weeks. Okay, the big thing that everybody is talking about is Kelvin Benjamin, and I'm gonna address this one first and foremost because you can see I'm wearing my number 13 Kelvin Benjamin jersey for the first time. It's the first time I've actually worn it since I got it. I got it about a month ago. I want to say I got it before my DC trip. I took a DC trip last month. Yeah, I got it right before I went to DC, and this is my first time putting it on, right? And it's crazy, right? That everybody was all in love with this guy, and if I go back a little bit before that, right? Let's go back to last season. Let's go back to the last draft. Let's go back to the 2013 NFL draft. And I remember being on the podcast with some people, and I remember, talking to a lot of people during the draft when Carolina Panthers made the pick. When they made the pick and they drafted, their first pick was Kelvin Benjamin. A lot of people had a lot of different things to say, and all of them went positive, and I remember this clearly, and I remember this fully. And I remember this like it was yesterday. A lot of people were just like, oh my God, who is this Kelvin Benjamin kid? Blah, 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 this, that, and the third. And it was just nothing good was coming out about the kid, Kelvin Benjamin. People didn't like the pick. They thought, hey, this is not a good pick for Carolina, blah, 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 this, that, and the third. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. Like, even then I was defending the pick, even though I hadn't even watched a lot of tape on the kid. I had saw maybe like 3 YouTube videos, right? That's about all I had saw. And I thought to myself, you know what? I like this pick. This is what, everybody was always talking about, going into that draft, talking about how Cam Newton's passes were always high. They were always selling a little bit high, and he was overthrowing receivers because he was throwing high passes all the time. I was like, okay, well, they're addressing that situation. Now, even though Cam needs to, work on that, that's a Cam Newton issue and not so much as the wide receivers that we got on roster issue. But either way, they was like, hey, we're going to help Cam out. We'll get him some longer, taller, more athletic wide receivers to complement his throwing style, I guess. You know what I mean? And so yes, they draft Kelvin Benjamin, and everybody just like, wow, I don't know if I like this pick. We should have got this guy. We should have got that guy. But we picked Kelvin Benjamin, and that was our dude, and I was cool with it, right? We go into preseason, Kelvin makes a little bit of noise, and that was all good until the regular season started. And you start seeing Kelvin Benjamin, play with this chip. And like my brother JB liked to say, Kelvin was playing with that dog, right? He was a young dude, a rookie, but he was playing with so much attitude, man. Like some of the things that I saw him do to a lot of DBs, especially in red zone situations, and the things that, his body language and things that he would do and exude after the touchdown or whatever, I was impressed, So I understand how everybody could fall in love with the dude after the one season. I get it. I completely understand, because I'm a fan of the guy too. You see, I'm wearing his jersey, right? So I'm a fan of the kid. I thought he was one of the bright spots of what happened to us last season, because last season wasn't something to brag about, clearly, right? But at the same time, the thing is, he goes down. He's done for the year. We're gonna have to get. We're going to have to get used to, going into the season without him. We're going to have to understand that we're not going to have him this season, and we're going to just let it go. I mean, ain't no magical pill he's going to be able to take to, come back sooner or none of that. He's done for the season. That's it. It's over, right? But that don't mean Carolina Panther season is over. And I asked this question to some people on the day that the reports came out about Kelvin Benjamin, being out for the season when it was like finalized and everything after the MRIs and all that. And I asked the question. I was like, "Oh man, y'all acting like the season is over and we still got like 3 weeks of preseason left and all this good stuff." So who would you rather have, not have for the season, Cam Newton or Kelvin Benjamin? And a lot of people was like, and I was surprised at the outcome. I was actually surprised at the response that I got. The response was crazy. The response was, we can put Derek Anderson in, and as long as we got KB, we'll win, 8 or 9 games. And I was like, oh my God, this is crazy to me. I don't get that. You know what I mean? I'm like, you ain't gonna win. Look, Derek Anderson, listen, bless his heart. I love the dude to death. Not gonna fret, right? I love him to death. But Derek Anderson ain't gonna win, 10 games, dog. I'm sorry. It ain't gonna happen. Right? Derek Anderson is not gonna win, 10 games. So you might as well forget about that. That is not gonna happen, right? So and all that stuff, people talking about, oh well, yeah, you can put Derek Anderson in, and then we'll get like 8 or 9 games, and I'm like, wow. And y'all call yourself Panther fans. I don't quite understand that. Now, and I'm not minimizing Kelvin Benjamin's contributions to the team. I'm not doing that at all. That's not what this is about. I'm not minimizing none of his contributions whatsoever, because I thought he made us. He actually brought a nasty threat that most people, when they thought about Carolina, they didn't think of this. So he brought some type of threat to the team that we did not have before, and and this is one of the reasons why, like I said before, that people love the kid, right? And and even watching the very first preseason game, the touchdown catch that he made during that, this is what he brings to the table. Hold on, let me just tell these dudes to come catch me on Spreaker real quick. Let's see, go to Spreaker, look for Black and Blue podcast. There you go. So yeah, like that's that. So not having KB on the team is definitely a blow. I am not minimizing that. I am not saying that not having him isn't like a thing, right? Because it's definitely a thing. Ain't no doubt about that. But I still see how we prepared ourselves for something like the season before. The thing was there was no wide receiver receivers. We had no wide receivers. There's absolutely no wide receivers anywhere for Cam Newton to throw the ball to, and that kind of thing. And I'm like, wow. So now it's like, okay, we got all these wide receivers, right? We got plenty of wide receivers. We got plenty of them, and we missing one. And now it's the same situation, it's the same story, it's the same, speculation that the Carolina Panthers are not going to be able to produce anything. This, that, and the third. And I'm just, I got to be honest with you, I'm thrown off by that. I feel some kind of weird way about that. I just do. You know what I mean? Like, how can you go from, the people and everybody saying, hey, listen, you what y'all gonna do? Y'all ain't got no wide receivers. There are all the wide receivers left. To now y'all got all these wide receivers, but y'all's main wide receiver is gone, and now y'all in the same position. And keep in mind, this is the same wide receiver that when he was drafted, everybody was groaning and moaning about it because they was like, oh my God, I don't want that. I don't want that pick. I don't like that pick. So this, now y'all see what my problem is. These are the issues that I'm dealing with right now, because I just think this whole thing is really crazy, and how people, like, either memories are so short or they so contradicting of themselves. It's weird to me, you know what I mean? And then then we talk about the what we've seen, like the performance that we've seen. Cam hasn't played very well in either one of the outings, right? The defense, especially the run defense looked really, really horrible in the first outing. It didn't look that much better in the second outing, but and then of course there's no star, no star. Star's not around, so he's still walking around in that walking boot and everything. So that's a big part of it too. And I understand, how big these players are to the team. I want everybody to understand I'm not undermining or minimizing anybody's contribution to the team. I just want y'all to kind of see it from another point of view. Now, I remember last season when we played against Pittsburgh, which I think Pittsburgh gave us our first loss, if I'm not mistaken. It was a home game, I want to say, early in the season. I think it was like week 3, week 4. It was early. I remember it being early. And I remember Le'Veon Bell just gashing us up. And, this was right after, because remember, Storm went down in the second game of the season, and he was out for a couple of weeks or whatever. And this was when it was exposed that the Carolina Panthers couldn't stop the run. And, dude, I don't know, I think he had 125, 130, 100 and some odd yards against us that night. It was a shame. It was bad. So I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. So I understand a player's contribution to the team. And I understand, that, not having star, you open up things like, being gashed by the run. Same thing happened a couple of weeks later when we went up to Baltimore, and, what's that little dude's name? Forsett had a great day against us on the ground because we couldn't really do a lot about the run and that kind of thing, right? And let me check the sprinkler real quick to make sure everybody good over there. Oh yeah. So again, I'm not minimizing it. So I understand. I'm a football fan too. I completely get it. But the thing is, there is the people who get paid to put this team together. They understand that injuries are part of the game. And that's the thing. Another thing I want y'all guys to know, that injuries are a part of the game. It happens. Like, people get hurt. We just saw that the Green Bay Packers lost one of their high profile wide receivers, and Jordy Nelson, done for the season. You know what I mean? And then I saw a report today. I forget who it was that went down today. Somebody went down today, gone for the season. You know what I mean? Torn ACL. These things happen, right? And what you guys got to understand is that this stuff is already built into the game plan for the season. We know we're gonna lose some people. You just hope that it ain't key people and people that you're gonna feel like you need. You really need to keep on on the field. But it happens. You know what I mean? You just thank the heavenly stars that it ain't Cam Newton or Luke Kuechly or somebody like that. I think Kelvin Benjamin's contributions will definitely be missed. Ain't no doubt about that. I do think it's really, really hard to replace 9 touchdowns and over 1,000 yards receiving and that whole thing. That's tough. You know what I mean? Like, that's a real tough thing to try to replace in one season. Considering the level of talent that we have on the team right now. Again, I just need people to calm down a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, we haven't played a real game yet. This is preseason. And I'm gonna tell you, this is another thing. Before we go into a break, let me explain this. I don't know what football fans expect when they turn on a preseason game? I mean, are you expecting total domination, or are you expecting I know it's like our first taste of football, and we're excited to see people with helmets on, going at it. That's I understand that that's exciting, right? But at the same time, the preseason is to work out the kinks. The preseason is to test out different things, see how certain people are going to respond in certain roles and in certain situations. That's what it's there for. It's not there to win the game. You know what I mean? It's cool to win the game. I think that's dope to win the game, but that ain't what we're really coming out here to do. We're trying to get 90 people, 90 plus, 95, however many people they have in the beginning. We're trying to get that. There's 90-some people down to 50-some people, and we're trying to put together a team to represent us for the season. So, yeah, you got to do a lot of different things that you normally wouldn't do in a real game time situation. You wouldn't do that. You know what I mean? So, yeah, and then maybe ain't no excuse for certain things like Cam's play and throwing 2 interceptions in a preseason game, things like that. And I ain't making no excuses for Cam. I'm not. I'm just saying that maybe they were trying some new players. Maybe they were trying. And again, he is getting used to some new receivers because we had most of the ones that from last year returned, right? But we had to get used to some new people. We got some rookies out there. We got some people who we brought back, things like that. So we got to get a rhythm going, and sometimes it takes more than a game or two. I mean, how long were they in? They were in training camp week and a half, 2 weeks, and then they had the first preseason game or whatever the case may be. It take a little bit of time. You know what I mean? We will see next week. Now, when against the Patriots, this should be this should give us a glimpse of what we got to look forward to this season. And this is what I will say before we go into my break. This is what I would say. I would say make your judgments then. Don't do it now, right? Make your judgments after you see the dress rehearsal game, right? Because this is y'all gotta understand. People are fighting for roster spots. Maybe the inspiration wasn't there because they knew certain things weren't going to happen. I thought, hey, look, Kelvin Benjamin's on the roster. These little guys like Brent Burson and some of these other Boykin and all of them, they probably thought they didn't have a chance and didn't have a shot. With Kelvin Benjamin going down, this opens up opportunities for some of those guys who we probably thought would have got cut in the first round. The first round of cuts, we're that guy's definitely going. But now they got a shot because, the number one wide receiver on the team is out for the season. So some decisions got to be made and things like that. So, I want you guys to understand that, the season ain't over because the season ain't started. So the season can't possibly be over because the season ain't never started. So, let us work this out. Let us figure out, what exactly we got going on here. And then we'll make, we'll be like, okay, well, yes, it's definitely over. The Carolina Panthers don't got a chance. It's definitely not going to happen. Then we can say things like that. But for now, I think we need to wait and see. Let's see if I can fix the screen. There we go. We need to wait and see exactly how Ron Rivera, Dave Gettleman, Shula, and the rest of the people up there in the administration, and how they respond to losing these people and having to shuffle things around, and just be glad that it's now. Be glad that it's now, and that it's not 4 weeks into the season. You know what I mean? Be glad that it's happening right now. Anyway, we're gonna take a little bit of a break. When we come back, I'm gonna talk about some comments that I've heard and that I've seen over the last couple of weeks, and I'm gonna address them real quick. From everything from some things that I've been getting into with people on Facebook, some Twitter situations, even things that I've seen on YouTube. I am going to address a few of those situations real quick, and then we're gonna wrap this puppy up and that kind of thing. So I thank you guys for sticking with me even through technical difficulties on YouTube, right? So apparently YouTube is having some technical difficulties, or maybe it's something on my end. I'm not sure. But since the show was already started, I'm not gonna go and try to fix it and nothing like that. And that's why I got the Spricker going on for backup, just in case something like this happens. Anyway, we're gonna take a break. Pause for the calls. We'll be right back.
Yo, JB from TeamBoydTV, co-host of TeamBoydTV Live every Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we'll be discussing updates, breakdowns, and just about everything NFL. Hosted by yours truly, Big Q, co-hosted by me, JB, and my boy Glass from Get With It Sports. If some reason you missed the show, still haven't had your fill, visit TeamBoydTV.com.
Regular season football is right around the corner, and with that comes the return of TeamBoydTV's flagship program, TeamBoydTV Game Time. Join Big Q and Gray B live every Tuesday night during the regular season at 7:35 p.m. The premier online source for in-depth NFL news and analysis. Also covering every single game of the 2014 NFL season, we'll give you weekly picks and contests and t-shirt giveaway. It all goes down Tuesday, September 2nd, 7:35 p.m. live. Join us as we go into our fourth season during TeamBoydTV Game Time. The Black and Blue Podcast. And that brings us right back to the Black and Blue Podcast. Again, I'll be your host, Big Q from TeamBoydTV. And listen, I want to thank games, and I was like, to try to replace, and I am going to address a few Cali Blue. There was a couple of your guys who kind of saw it from my point of view, you know, and okay, so Kelvin comes guy say he that's what's that playback, but it looked like it's regular season football is right around the you got to do a lot of different things that you normally wouldn't do and see exactly how Ron Rivera still watching. Everything must be still true. Premier online source for in-depth NFL news and analysis. Also covering every single game of the 2014 NFL season, we'll give you weekly picks and contests and t-shirt giveaway. It all goes down Tuesday, September 2nd, 7:35 p.m. live. Join us as we go into our fourth season during TeamBoydTV Game Time. The Black and Blue Podcast. And that brings us right back to the Black and Blue Podcast. Again, I'll be your host, Big Q from TeamBoydTV. And listen, I want to thank, I see, you know, people are still over there watching on YouTube. And listen, dude, I don't know what the situation is over there, but if that's you guys still watching, everything must be still true. I don't know, right? Because it's live, I can't really see what's happening. I mean, I can see, but I can't really hear because I got, you know, that part muted and whatnot. Hold on, let's test it real quick. Let's see what's happening. Yeah. I don't hear nothing. That's crazy. I did not understand that. That was amazing. I don't know what that's about. It's a little weird, to be honest with you, but it is what it is. That's what's that playback. But it looks like it's working fine over on the Spreaker though. The Spreaker seems like it's holding up. I don't know why it's being so odd on YouTube. I will address it tomorrow because of course I got the TeamBoydTV live show tomorrow night, so we got to make sure we rectify that whole situation right there to make sure that's good. But other than that, it looks like we are still good to go on Spreaker and stuff like that. So as long as we good on Spreaker, that's really all I care about right now. As long as we're good on Spreaker, right? Because that's the backup. And then I'll put the video and the audio together so people on YouTube can actually see the show and that kind of thing. So that's what we'll do. But for now, we're going to keep the show moving, right? We're going to keep the show moving and we'll do it like this. Last couple weeks, you know, I've been showing, right? I've been watching everything that's been going on. I've been listening to everything people have been saying. I've been, you know, just, yeah, it's been like leaning the cut because you know what? I really didn't want to, you know, I didn't want to overreact, right? I didn't want to overreact because, you know, a lot of times, you know, that's all people need to see is dissension between fans and you know, in the same, you know, fan base and stuff like that. I'm like, you know, I'm not going to do that. You know, I'm just going to lay back. Nah, like, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to be straight up. A lot of the things that you guys were saying and a lot of things that you guys were tweeting and a lot of things you guys were posting, I 100% did not agree with. But there are a few of you guys, you know, I'm going to call them out, you know, Paco Train, Mr. T Money, P Nasty, you know, Cali Blue. There was a couple of your guys who kind of saw it from my point of view, you know, and, okay, so Kelvin comes guy say he listened to me on Spreaker and you think he has an answer to the problem already. Now listen, if you talking about free agency, let know. So that's one of the things I'm getting ready to address. The free agency thing, I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm 100% against it. I am not feeling it. I think there's plenty of talent on the roster already. I think these guys is just gonna have to do what I've been saying they need to do from the get-go. They're gonna have to man up and step up, and somebody gonna have to step into that role. You know, you can't lean on people. Like that's why they call it a football team. You know, it ain't just one guy showing up, making all the plays, and then everybody else is going along for the ride. It's a team effort, you know, and everybody's sitting around talking about, Kelvin Benjamin's gone, what we gonna do? You know, no, it's like 7 or 8 other wide receivers on the squad as of right now before the cuts go out. Somebody need to step up, and that's the bottom line. At the end of the day, Ginn and Boykin and Cotchery, and you know, who else am I missing? I'm missing a bunch of them, but them dudes need to step up. Them dudes need to understand that there's an opportunity sitting right in front of them right now, and they need to step up and take it. And that's just it. You know, ain't no other way around it. Like, if those guys were not, I agree with you. That's what I was trying to say. Okay, I'm glad we're on the same page. I'm glad we're on the same page. I'm just, because I was getting ready to say, no, I am not feeling the free agency thing. I know everybody was talking about Reggie Wayne before he, you know, committed to the Patriots or whatever, and now the conversation is talking about Randy Moss. You know, what is Randy Moss, like 38 years old? Now listen, again, I'm not minimizing any contributions that Randy Moss made to the NFL, because you know, everybody knows Randy Moss is a beast. Randy Moss is on, you know, undefeated team up into the Super Bowl, broke all kind of records, did all this, that, and the third. Randy Moss is I ain't gonna take nothing from him. I just don't feel like he can contribute to this team other than being a decoy. I just don't. I can't see what he can bring. I mean, I'm being honest. I'm not, you know, like I said, I'm not minimizing anything that Randy Moss may or you know have contributed to the NFL. I'm just saying, at this point in time, on this particular team, I don't see what he can bring. I don't know what he can contribute to make us better, other than being a decoy. You know what I mean? Other than being a decoy. So if it, you know, and this is like most Panther fans. I'm not gonna say most. A lot of Panther fans are saying stuff like this. Oh, well, you know, Cam is playing horrible in the last 2 games. Cam threw 2 picks in the last game against the Dolphins or whatever. And, you know, Cam's play has been horrible. The offensive line has been horrible. The defense ain't been playing to their potential. If all these things are things that you're already talking about now, how does Randy Moss help this situation? If Cam Newton is playing terribly, like y'all guys claim he is, if he's throwing interceptions and whatnot, how does Randy Moss or Reggie Wayne, you know, help that? How does that's the question I got. Like, how does bringing in Randy Moss, you know, rectify all that? No, Cam Newton got to play better. You know, Team Money said same people panicking now was panicking last year when it was the new wide receiver. Absolutely. It's the same thing. That's what I'm saying. It's the same thing. So whatever we was feeling like, you know, a month ago, we should still be feeling like that now, because we were in the same situation last season, you know, and then when everybody said we didn't have any wide receivers, that's what I said, you know, in the early part of the show. And now that one wide receiver is out for the season. Now the sky's falling again. So I don't know what y'all guys want. I don't know what y'all expect. I don't know what y'all hoping to see. I'm just saying, this is a team that's in a little bit of a flux. And just, you know, Carolina Panthers, if it's one thing I say about my team, you know, they will scratch and they will claw and they will struggle and they will just barely make it. But at the end of the day, they make it. And that's the thing. We may not win, you know, 15 games, you know, during the season, or dominate, you know, the whole entire NFC like a lot of people want us to do, or, you know, and that kind of thing. But at the end of the day, you know, Carolina Panthers still are relevant because people still talk about them and people still game plan against the Carolina Panthers. Carolina Panthers is a very talented team, you know, despite, you know, us losing Frank Alexander and you know, and you know, not having Starlo Taylor around and not having, you know, our prized possession Kelvin Benjamin around. There's a lot of talent here, man. You know, and I don't think we've seen in these 2 preseason outings exactly. We need real fans to have faith, and I know we got the men to step up and place the KB. Absolutely, I'm telling you, people like Corey Brown, right? You know, he was starting to come into his own last season. Toward the end a little bit, he was kind of, his body took a little bit of a beating or whatever the case may be. But I would say this about Brown. He got that same dog mentality as Kelvin Benjamin. He might not be the biggest dog in the fight, but I'm telling you, he gonna challenge anybody that line up across from him. I got faith in Corey Brown. Ted Ginn, listen, we ain't really seen a lot from him since he came back, but I remember the Ted Ginn before he left, right? When he was playing for a contract and all the things that we said, at the end of that season or whatever. And I know for a fact that he can bring something to the table. He can contribute in so many different places, special teams, going deep, being a decoy. He can bring so much. I mean, your end of rounds and, coming out of the backfield. There's so many different things he can do. So yes, I'm a fan, and I'm rooting for Ted again. And I know I said some harsh things about him when he left the team, a year ago. But I'm glad he's back, right? We still got the safety valve, Greg. Also, ain't nothing wrong with him. He's fully healthy. He's playing, still at a super high level. Just came from his first Pro Bowl. You know what I mean? Like, that's still in place. You got the veteran Cotchery. Now, I know a lot of people feel a certain type of way about Cotchery. I know they do, right? But having a veteran around like that definitely will help the situation. Now, Cotchery, he proved his worth last season, and I'm glad that he came back. So yeah, we got him too. And you never know, Cotchery might be able to rise to the occasion and be the Cotchery that we remember from days past, like when he was a Jet and so on and so forth. So the situation is good. Then you got these young dudes on the bubble now. This reminds me of a conversation that I was having with somebody on Facebook the day that Kelvin Benjamin went down, and and this is and it pissed me off to the craziest extreme. So I tweeted some stuff about Next Man Up or something. If you guys follow me on Twitter, y'all know what I was saying. So I was saying something about Next Man Up or something, and then when I send my tweets out, they kind of post on the Team Boy TV Facebook page, right? And if you ain't check the Team Boy TV Facebook page out, you need to go do that. Go over there and like the page. Man, help your boy out with that. So I tweeted the tweet or whatever, and then then people start commenting, and then one person said, and I'm telling you, it made me so mad. I didn't know what to do. He said, and if you don't believe me, go check the Facebook page. He says, well, at least we got Brenton Burson, and so I'm looking at my phone, right? You know what I'm saying? I'm looking at my phone, and I'm like, did this dude really take his time and type this? Does he understand what he's saying? Like, because I'm ready to blast this fool like right now. You know what I mean? I'm ready to flame him up in the comment section, right? And so like I'm staring at my phone, and I'm like, what is wrong with people? What is happening? Like, what is Burson? Are you for real, right? So I responded. I had to calm myself down. I had to chill out. I was like, you know what? I want to show, my wife the comments. I was like, look at this. Like, this is crazy. And so, so I finally responded after about 20 minutes because, I had to sit there and take this in. And I was like, Burson, are you serious? I refuse to believe that you're serious about, Brenton Burson is going to be the replacement for Kelvin Benjamin. You must be smoking like the highest level crack that the world has ever seen. Because I don't understand how you could possibly put this on the internet where everybody can see it. That's ridiculous, right? I don't get it. And then he was like, well, Kelvin Benjamin came fair catch passes. I mean, fair catch punts. Or something crazy, and I was like, "This, I must be being trolled here." Okay, let me stop. So I think I responded that I was too upset about the stuff that happened with Kelvin Benjamin to get into a little stupid argument with. I think I posted this on Google Plus. Like, y'all probably saw this. Yeah, exactly, T buddy. Exactly. Forget. Yes, and some people saying that and I will say this, but some people saying that this might be his time to shine. But I will say this about him, and me and my brother JB was talking about this a couple days ago, that he has been one lucky SOB because he was, he probably was going to lose his job early, right before the first game came up. But then that stuff happened with that one guy. What's his name? Stephen Hill. The stuff happened with him. So he was safe. He was like, okay, they lost that guy. So I probably won't get cut. Before the first preseason game, and this kind of thing. So then after the first preseason game, Kelvin Benjamin goes down. He's like, oh my God. So I might be able to survive. I might be able to survive the first round of cuts because Kelvin Benjamin is not coming back for the season. So he's been lucky, right? Because if it was me, I'd have pulled a trigger on him weeks ago. But somebody sees something in him, and I don't know. I can tell you this: there's a lot of things that I agree with. With the coaching staff and the decisions that they make and the general manager. I agree with about 98% of the stuff that they do. This whole Burson thing, especially how mad he made me last season. I ain't gonna say he cost us no games, but he put us in position where we could. Burson is on the team because Big Cat is on the team because of Big Cat, not because. Okay, so there you go. So apparently the owner likes him. So there you go. He's still there. He's still hanging around. I don't know. I'd have got rid of him though. But like I say, I don't think he cost blatantly, openly cost us any games. But he's shown to put us in some situations where if things didn't go the way they originally were supposed to go, we definitely would have lost some games. But he was atrocious on special teams. I don't see no toughness out of him as a wide receiver. Yeah, he can catch a little bit. He can run a little bit, but nothing spectacular, right? Nothing spectacular. I don't know. To me, it's a waste of space. But like I said, somebody see something in him, right? And that kind of thing. So, and then, so the last part I'm going to touch on, right? Because like I told you at the very top of the show, I was not planning on doing this show tonight. I was going to do it tomorrow night. But, my homies, my boys, they were doing the C3 podcast and I was all into it. I was enjoying it and it was great. And there's a lot of things that they said that I didn't agree with either. But, we homies and it's all good. So, we don't, they stat guys and they like to look at numbers and they like to see, T-Money says Cardinals game blowout if Burson not there. Sunshine think he Cole Beasley or that dude from what's the dude number 14 from the Eagles? That guy, yeah, that dude. He think he one of them dudes, right? But I'm watching the C3 podcast, and like I said, I'm enjoying it, right? I'm having a good time with my boys. And then they start freaking out early because they like to see actual static. Results. That's the type of guys that they are, and I ain't saying nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with that at all. There's a bunch of different type of football fans, and everybody who know me know that I'm not the stat guy. I'm not the numbers dude. That's not my thing. I'm into the emotional aspect of the football game. I like to get emotionally invested in my team and my squad. That's just who I am. They made comments about me being an optimist. Yeah, I am. I think that every Sunday the Carolina Panthers have a chance to win every game that they play. Unfortunately, it don't work out that way. But at the same time, I never say, oh well, we're gonna lose this game. You know what I mean? I never say that. Like that's you would never hear, Big Q ever say on any given Sunday, oh yeah, we definitely gonna get mopped up this game. That ain't happening. You can bet money that you will never hear me say that, right? So again, there's different types of football fans, and since they like static numbers and actual factuals and results and stats and stuff, and that's great. You know what I mean? Like I said, that's what you do, right? I'm different. I believe in my team. Regardless, right? They had a bad game, or they lost a player, or somebody got traded, or Steve Smith got cut, or whatever the case may be. I always feel like we can overcome it because I've seen the Carolina Panthers overcome so much, especially in the last couple of years. And in the last couple of years, the adversity that this team has faced has been crazy. Like I haven't seen a football team go through as much as this team has went through in the last few years. It's crazy to me. So knowing that and being a fan since day one, I've seen this team go through everything imaginable, like everything. Everybody thought the whole Aaron Hernandez thing was crazy that went on in New England, but we had to go through that too. You know what I mean? I remember that, the really, really bad quarterback play out of Jimmy Clausen. We've been through all of that, right? Had a really high quarterback come in and your boy Jake Delhomme, and then he kind of fizzled out at the end. As soon as we started to love the kid, he kind of, wasn't able to hold up the amount of pressure of being that guy. He couldn't handle it, right? So, we've seen it all, right? And then we had a point where they put together a team that I feel, especially after watching what they went through last season and how they emerged at the end, I felt like this team was ready to make the next step, and I still feel like that. Yes, it's going to be a little harder now. T-Money says, Tony is my boy, but he just picks certain people he's just not going to like no matter what. And, like I said, I understand that, and that's fine, right? But I still feel like whatever we said that we think that we was going to be able to do at the end of last season, going into the season, I still feel like we can. It's just going to be a little bit more difficult without a beast of a wide receiver out there. But you know what? We didn't know what this dude was capable of doing. Just like we don't know what our new rookie Devin Funches is capable of doing. We don't know. He may be like, you know what? Like a lot of people said, the reason why they drafted this guy was because he kind of mirrored Kelvin Benjamin a lot. Now I don't know because I haven't really seen a whole lot of the kid, right? But I know one of the things that I don't see him playing with that chip, with that ferocity, with that dog, like JB like to say. He don't play with that, and I ain't saying that's a bad thing. I'm just saying that's one of the things that made Kelvin Benjamin so spectacular, because he had that chip, and we ain't seen a wide receiver like that since old boy left. And I ain't saying I'm not comparing Kelvin Benjamin to Steve Smith. I'm just saying they both had like a little attitude, and I like that that kind of thing. So anyway, I was listening to the show, and I was enjoying it. I was all into it, and then the subject came up of Mike Tolbert, and I was like, oh no, y'all didn't just do that. You know what I'm saying? Like I actually, pulled the video back a little bit to make sure I heard them correctly, right? Now, listen, the views that y'all about to listen to right now are strictly big cues from TeamBoydTV Turbo. This is not a representation of Panther Nation or nothing like that. This is just how I feel. Ever since Mike Tolbert came to this team, he has been an integral part. Now, it might not show up in the stat sheet, and it might not show up, in the touchdown reports or whatever y'all guys like to look at to get your numbers and all that. Mike Tolbert's contributions may not show up there, but I'm telling you, things don't go the way they went. You don't go win 10 games in a row without Mike Tolbert. You don't emerge from, an 8-game losing streak without Mike Tolbert. You just don't do that, right? I don't know. To hear people talk about Tolbert, yes, I understand. Yeah, we have our backfield is talented. It is. With Stewart showed up big at the end of the last season. And I ain't undermining or minimizing none of his contributions either. Because again, I don't think we could have did what we did without him either. But at the same time, to see, I don't know if I can call it disrespect, because I don't know if I want to do it that way. But just listening to what they were saying, it kind of struck something in me. Like, wow, like if a person is not giving you the numbers that you want to see, but they still contributing to the team in intangible ways, does that still make them, worthy of hanging the cleats up and moving on from Charlotte? Yo, that's crazy. That is just crazy to me. I don't understand that. I don't understand that, and I don't know how many people will agree with me or disagree with me. But Tolbert is key. He is. Yeah. Okay. So he's not a real deal fullback, and he's not a real deal running back, and he definitely ain't nothing like a wide receiver. He's all that. You know what I mean? But you got to put a tag on him, because you got to put him on the roster list somewhere. So yeah, we'll call him a fullback for lack of a better term. He ain't no fullbacks in the NFL these days. Everybody know that, right? So, and everyone's like, well, I don't know if he's a fullback. I don't. Look, it don't matter what you call him, okay? It don't matter what you call him. All I know is that, if it's 3rd down and 2 or 3rd down and 5, give the ball to Mike Tolbert, okay? If you are in the red zone and you got it's 17 yards to to the goal line, man, get that ball to Mike Tolbert. You know what I mean? You do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you need a chains to be moved in a hurry, you need to get them chains moving. Even if you got to throw a check down, throw it to him in the flat or whatever, give that ball to Mike Tolbert. You see what I'm saying? Because more than likely he gonna catch the ball. More than likely he gonna get them 2 or 3 yards that you need. More than likely if you're in the red zone, who gonna stop him? That dude is a bowling ball. You know what I'm saying? So listen, and he got plenty of gas left in the tank. Dude still got another 3-4 seasons left in him. I just don't, and I don't know how more clear I can be. I do not co-sign or condone or agree with the notion that we don't need Mike Tolbert. Now, if it shows up in the season this year where Stewart can handle this primarily on his own, and you bring in some of the newer guys every once in a while sparingly to give you the rest or whatever the case may be, hey, listen, y'all can roll y'all's dice on Jonathan Stewart all you want to. Again, that's that short memory I was telling y'all Panther fans about. Y'all forget how many full seasons has this dude played in his whole entire career. Every time I think of Jonathan Stewart, I think of him being on the injury report. So then the reports that y'all probably need to check out, right? Since you're talking about Mike Tolbert, look at Jonathan Stewart's injury reports. The dude ain't never finished no season, never really ever finished a full season. Yeah, he had that real good season that one time, and and that's all great. And again, I'm not minimizing or undermining nothing that he done. I'm just saying, I can't put my money on Jonathan Stewart. I'm sorry, I can't do it. You know what I mean? I don't know if y'all agree with me or not. And and again, this is my opinion. I am not rolling the dice on Jonathan Stewart. No, I'm sorry. I'm just not gonna do it. Period. Tolbert is look. You better have to. Even if Tolbert, only take about half as many snaps as Jonathan Stewart, or who else they got, Weger or Artis Payne. I don't care. For Cam haters. Oh, hey, listen. I'm just saying, I ain't even talking about Cam. I ain't even gonna get on the Cam Newton thing. Not tonight. I'm not gonna do it because I could go a whole other hour about Cam Newton, but I'm not gonna do it. I'm just this Tolbert thing just had me feeling some type of way, and I know a lot of people gonna say Fuzzy gone. I called that weeks ago, but I love Cap game. Yeah, if I had hope for Fuzzy, I did, but but Cap, yes, Artis Payne, he gonna be something. I'm just saying, you can't just have Jonathan Stewart and a bunch of new dudes in there. You're gonna have Jonathan Stewart, and you're going to have your boy Mike Tolbert as Jonathan Stewart's backup, because I'm telling you, it's like clockwork. Jonathan Stewart ain't gonna play the full 15, 16 games. He ain't gonna do it. I'm telling you, it ain't gonna happen. So you need somebody who kind of know what they're doing, know the system, been around a while, is comfortable with everything, so he can show the young guys exactly how it's done. And and so on the Tolbert situation, that's the way I feel. I felt some type of way when that comment came out on their podcast earlier today. I felt like I needed to address it because it did kind of get under my skin a little bit. And again, I'm not mad at nobody about it because everybody can feel the way they want to feel. It's just that particular one kind of bothered me a little bit. Now, listen, Panther fans, I'm gonna say this before I get out of here, right? It ain't the sky is not falling, man. Like we still got the full stretch of the season to go. And understand that everybody on that roster right now, anyway, they want the same thing. Carolina is not going to just come out and lay down. Ron Rivera ain't about that life. Dave Gettleman ain't about that life. That is not going to happen. And it ain't going to be no Jacksonville Jaguars type situation either way. We just go out there and give our best and always come up short. Carolina Panthers ain't built that way. If it's time still left on the clock, Carolina's going to try to finish that game. I'm just saying that's the Panthers team that I see. Trouble get hurt 1 year and people go to sleep. Absolutely. I'm just saying, and I know I went on a 10-minute rant about Mike Tolbert, but I'm just telling you that's the way I felt about it. But at the end of the day, you don't lose. People, look, y'all don't get worked up. Okay, the season ain't started yet. And again, like I said, the Kelvin Benjamin thing is huge. It is gigantic. But the game still got to be played. The show ain't gonna stop just because this guy is hurt. And listen, you know KB want to be there. He wish that didn't happen. You know what I mean? He wanted, because this was gonna be his break. Like, people had just started noticing this dude, right? They had just started kind of like giving him his due. And then this happened, but he'll come back stronger and better than ever, and this kind of thing. So I'm not worried about KB. He's gonna be just fine. Devin Funchess. Like I said, I don't know a whole lot about him. I'm just hoping that he get the message that, listen, you ain't got KB to lean on this season, right? You better listen to Jericho Cotchery and listen to Corey Brown and listen to Ted Ginn. Listen to these dudes who've been in the league for a little bit. Find out what's going on with them. Because listen, you're gonna have to step up. You're gonna have to. I don't know, like everybody talking about number 1, number 2, number 3. At this point, I don't care, because I go and look at the teams that won the Super Bowl the last couple times. Their wide receiver core was virtually unknown. You know what I mean? So it ain't a big deal. And if you think about the teams that got like these super high, well-known, wide receivers, I can't really recall them being in the Super Bowl lately. I just haven't, and I ain't saying that that you can go and win a Super Bowl without any wide receiver. I'm just saying it's not as important as y'all making it out to be. That's what I'm saying. But I think it's next man up, and as long as they're going in with that mentality, knowing that hey, this ain't no joke. People they're getting hurt out here. People season is getting cut short early before the season even start. Somebody got to step up. Somebody gonna have to step into these roles, and Cam Newton get into that little scuffle with Josh Norman a couple weeks ago. This is one of the things that that the team kind of needed. Like they need to understand that this ain't no joke, man. Like we need to get our hand and get this done. And I think Cam is the guy to get them dudes fired up like that. We got a great backup in Derek Anderson who was good for riling them boys up. Don't forget the defensive squad, man. Thomas Davis and Luke Kuechly, them boys out there, bona fide leaders. They will keep everybody in line, especially that young, secondary. They got Tillman out there, and Tillman. I don't know. A lot of people celebrating Tillman coming to the team, but that first like Sammy Watkins. I don't know. I'm just saying. I need to see more. So that's what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna leave it at that. Tillman, I need to see more. Okay, that's all. I'm just saying. That it ain't over. We can still do what we set out to do. I don't see nothing really, like I said, the Kelvin Benjamin thing, it's big, it's going to hurt. But I don't think that's enough to stop us from doing what we said we was going to do. I still see us being able to three-peat as NFC South champions, step number one. I still don't see nobody can stop us from doing that. I don't see nothing that can stop us from accomplishing that goal. Getting to the playoffs and handling our business in the playoffs is a whole different story. But by that time, I hope the team then came together and then gelled, and then people who needed to step up then stepped up, and all that kind of thing. So the playoffs, one step at a time. First thing we got to do, take care of home, right? We need to not lose home games. We lost a few home games, last season. You got to protect your dirt. That's basic. You got to win your home games. You got to win your divisional games, right? We can still do this. Despite what a lot of people saying, I am not ready to write Carolina off yet. I still believe we can get this done. I still believe that this team is still going to accomplish every single thing that they wanted to accomplish before these injuries. Barring some other crazy stuff happening, right? But as it stands right now, I do have faith in the coaching and the general manager. They will get the right team together. They will pick the best out of the talent pool that they have to pick from right now, and the Carolina Panthers that they present in week one, you guys see what I'm talking about. Like your preseason is just to work out the kinks, man. Y'all getting excited about preseason games. And you're losing faith and want to burn your Carolina Panthers jersey during preseason. You need to pump your brakes, man. It's gonna be okay. Everything gonna be cool. You guys just need to chill out. Anyway, Carolina Panthers guy, Mr. T Money 1993, Joey Riolano. Anybody else who I don't know who's watching, because a lot of people were checking me out and that kind of thing. I appreciate you guys. Coming to check me out on this impromptu version of the Black and Blue podcast. Like I said, it was just some emotional stuff that I needed to get off my chest, and I'm glad that I had somebody to check me out and listen to me, just get them off my chest. Listen, I love my Carolina Panthers, man. I don't think there's anybody who know me who can deny that. I'm a ride or die for my team, no matter what they're going through. You can count on Big Q to be the man to say, hey, listen, everything gonna be okay. We losing 8 games in a row, we gonna be all right. You know what I'm saying? And we're gonna be all right this season too. And it's not as bad as it looked. You guys need to chill out. You know what I'm saying? Until next time, man, guys, and check me out tomorrow night on the TeamBoydTV Live. We'll be discussing the NFC North, Green Bay and Chicago and Detroit and Minnesota, because we got delayed from last week. We didn't get to do it last week because some stuff went down with one of my co-hosts, but that's okay. We're back in action tomorrow night at 8:30 p.m. TeamBoydTV Live, NFC North, and then this weekend, probably Saturday, I might come back to you guys. I might try to see if I can get some Panther fans together, and we can discuss the things that I talked about tonight, and I can get the input from some of the other Panther fans who I like to kind of link up with, T Money and Carolina Panthers guy and Cat Chronicles, The Voice 2525, some of those dudes. I would love to get Mr. Coltrane on the set, that kind of thing. But we'll see if we can do something either this weekend or next week. But anyway. That's your boy Big Q. That's the Black and Blue podcast, and I will see y'all guys next time, man. Thank y'all guys for checking me out, and I'll holler at y'all later. Peace.